Hey everybody, this is Robert Keens of goldsilverpros.com. I have a very special first-time guest on the program, Glenn Jessome, who's the president and CEO of Silver Tiger. How are you doing today, Glenn?
Very, very well. How are you, Robert?
I'm doing very well. So excited to have you on the program because you're mining what we love for our subscribers, silver and gold, and in a district that we want to be in. And I want to get to your project here in a moment, but I wanted to set up the conversation by talking about the overall environment for the metals. We've had a lot of stuff happen last year. Of course, we had the shutdowns. We had some supply squeeze coming from the mines. Now they're recovered, reporting record profits in a lot of cases. I think the environment's very positive for the miners, but I wanted to get your take on the challenges we've been through the last year and where you see this market going for the rest of 2021.
Look, I first want to step up. Let's go to 40,000 feet.
Okay.
You're never going to hit the silver market right on. And a good friend of mine, Brad Langell, told me, we've been partners for 25 years. He said, Glenn, how do we never miss a good silver market? We never leave it. We've been mining silver for 25 years in Mexico. There's ups and there's downs. They come and they go, but we just continue to do what we always do, only mine silver and only in Mexico. That being said, we've seen a lot of ups and downs. We built 3 large mines in our history, Robert, in Mexico, big ones. We sold 2 more to majors. We've got, our group has Gold in the hunt right now, and Silver Tiger. But one thing and we talk about a lot now is we have never been more excited about silver. Look at it. The world is changing. Everybody wants their battery cars. They want solar power. They want their 5G. Silver's an inframetal. Forget precious and industrial. That's the backbone of that product of all of those technologies I just talked about. It's always about supply and demand. We are very excited. There are not many true silver mines in the world. You know that, and I think your readers do also. And we think we're on to the next one here with Silver Tiger.
Yeah, I'm really interested in silver. It's with the silver squeeze movement that started to occur in January, February. We've seen such incredible interest in the silver space from the retail investor. Of course, Wall Street Silver has gone from 0 to 70,000 subscribers. We're a partner with them. We do a lot of collaborative work together, and we get a lot of interest in silver as an investment metal, which I think, to me, is really the story. If you talk to David Morgan, he's been saying for years, we've had him on the program, you know, where silver price is going to go higher is that incremental demand from investors. And I think we're at that stage where we're seeing it. We see the high premiums in the retail, and we're starting to see reports of higher premiums in the 1,000-ounce bar. So it's starting to hit the bigger. So what's your view on silver going forward? Do you think we're going to continue to have this retail investment demand, or you think the story is going to be industrial driven, like you mentioned, with the need in industry?
Look, it's all of it. You can't just say it's not one. But you know, we've watched the ups and downs. As I said, 25 years we've been mining silver in Mexico, and what we see now is all of it coming together. It's always precious, it's always industrial, but now, and I really hadn't thought about it. Thank you for making me think more about that. We see the inframetal demand, all the technologies I talked about. I'm not going to repeat it. They need silver. At some point, they need to get that product if they want to have all of those technological advances, which we will have. It's going to happen. But yeah, the retail, you know what? I love to watch some of what happened with Reddit, because this got to be a little bit of an old man's game, and I'm telling you that, you know, and a lot of those old gold and silver bugs, you know, they're retired or they're moving on. So to see actually the young generation coming in and realizing this is something I can trade. I can trade metal. I can trade junior stocks. I can trade producer stocks, and that's exciting. So whatever you're doing to make that happen is only going to be good, not only for us, but for them, because we see the brightest future, pardon the pun, for silver we've seen in our entire careers. We think this will be the best run of all.
Yeah, we do. We predicted that both gold and silver's runs are coming up. In fact, when we talked to Go Gold, one of the subjects of our conversation was the next super cycle, the gold and silver super cycle. I think we're setting up for those super cycles for all the reasons that we've chatted about. And one of the ways in which to play silver, if right now you're frustrated getting high premiums on retail and you want to get in silver space, is to go to silver miners. Of course, you get the leverage with the miner that you don't get with the metal. but you also get the risk. So you want to pick a good project in a good jurisdiction with good management. So if you'd like to talk a little bit about Silver Tiger and what you guys offer the market, and let's get into, the value that you bring your investors.
Robert, I think just so everybody knows, it's important to understand two things: the team, track record in the jurisdiction, and the project. So I think maybe if it's okay, I'd like just to share maybe my verified presentation.
Okay.
Walk everybody through a couple of slides just to orient them where we are. So let's see if I can make this, an old dinosaur like me, if I can make this technology work, Robert. But I've done this before, and we'll see what happens, and then we'll keep on going. All right, here we go. The slide I want to go to first, and I want to talk about, look, your readers or those who watch this may or may not invest in Silver Tiger, but I invest in silver stocks all the time. And I have a rule. My first question to whoever is trying to sell me their junior mining stock in silver is, okay, how long has your team been in that jurisdiction? That's a very important question, Robert. If they say, well, this is our first gambit, a little red flag goes up. We've been in Mexico 25 years, 3 large mines, 2 mortar majors, and we've developed 2 very, very successful companies now that we've talked about. The next thing I say is, how many mines have you built in that jurisdiction? Look, everybody starts somewhere. We started with none 25, 26 years ago, built 3. That's not easy to do. No. And everything we do in this jurisdiction, we can only control one thing, our boardroom, and what we can do. We can build a mine. We can deliver ounces and the economic reports, 43-101 PEA pre-fees. We've done a lot of that in the last 5 or 6 years in Mexico. We'll talk about that. You have to be able to do that because those are the things that drive value. And we can, because of our track record, we've never had a project that hasn't been successful, that hasn't either we've built the mine or we've sold it to someone who has. That's a great track record, 25 years. We think what you're looking at here, Silver Tiger, which is in Sonora, a great mining state, will be the same thing. Look, we've had a great, we just got going on this thing in 2000, really fall of 2020. Since then, I've done 2 bought deal financings with investment banks. The first one was 11 million at 30 cents. Before we spent that money, we were offered another 23 million at 60. I told everybody when I took the money at 30 in September of 2020 that I would take no more money until I doubled their value. We did that. We raised it at 60 cents, Super Bowl weekend. Very, very good institutions we had in there, all institutional investors. That whole 23, with the majority was taken by Franklin Templeton, a gold fund, Sam, Merck. Those are the best institutions for precious metals in the world. And that's when you say, how do you create value with a junior? We're up from 10 cents in the last year to trading strong at over 70 now, with incredible liquidity every day. You can see what we trade. Probably the best in the business for juniors in Mexico, for sure. On average, I think we've traded to over 200 million shares in the last 6 or 7 months. And that's only on the basis of delivering results with the drill bit and moving the project forward. Let's talk about what we have. I think your people have to see this beautiful package. Bought a public company in 2017 at the bottom of the market for $11 million called El Tigre Silver, delisted that company, and vended this asset into Silver Tiger. It's 30,000 hectares. It's 25 kilometers. The Sierra Madre runs right through it. But make no mistake, Robert, what we are in Mexico, an all new discovery in Mexico. Your viewers should know that. We're garbage men. There's no new discovery. All the new mines are found under the head frames of old Spanish and or American mines. You'll love this, especially your American viewers. This was an old mine, 1908 to 1930, where I just put that blue line. 100 million silver equivalent ounces came out of that American mine at an average grade of over 2 kilograms per ton silver. That made it one of the hottest, if not the hottest spots we'd ever looked at in our 25 years in Mexico. We had to have it because the old timers usually only scratch the surface. And boy, were we right when we got this thing. We locked it down. Everything we need there, from power to roads to water to all of the things are very accessible. We drive right to the mountain. We have own all of that 30,000 hectares. We have agreements with all the ranchers to exploit it. I actually, someone, if they'd been paying attention earlier, within the last year or more, I bought the middle 6,200 hectares of surface rights. I paid $1.1 million for that. Most people who knew our track record would have said they've made the decision this will be an economic deposit that we will build or someone else will. And they'd be very correct in guessing that. The last thing I loved about the project when we acquired it was the simple fact that the royalty was still intact. Many of these things we look at in Mexico are ruined. There's 7, 8, 10, 12% royalty given away. This one is absolutely clean, and we'll exploit that royalty as we go forward. I do want your viewers to understand in Sonora the power, and I'm going to spin this map. I think it's very important that they understand what a new discovery of silver, because there's not that many in the world, can lead to in Mexico. If you look here, we're spinning, you see some of the biggest mines. We're surrounded by them within 10, 20, 40, 50 kilometers. We're looking south now. And really what I want you to look at here is that Sierra Madre heads off south for 1,000 kilometers. We're covered by all the analysts, Robert. And I think that's another thing that people should look at. When you got a young junior that's covered by Sprott, Echelon, Stifel GMP, all of them, Bank of Montreal. We were invited this year, smallest company there, I'm guessing, to the big February show they have every year. They've put out a research notes on us. That is very important. That separates you, because now the banks are having their independent geologists tell you and allow you to have that information of what they think. Consensus pricing next 6 months from all those analysts go to $1.30 for us. We're trading at about 70 cents right now. I can send you some of that. If you ever want to share any of that with any of your viewers, let me know, because as you know, the institutions keep that for the institutions tight. But what they're all calling us, and started calling us in September, was cheese pop, Silvercrest. We thought that was a little early, since we were just getting drilling in September of 2020, really getting after it. But make no mistake, that was the same thing as us. Why all these American mines closed? That's 95 kilometers from us in Sonora. That was $3.5 million market cap in 2017. Today it's $1.7 billion with $250 million in the bank. They're building their mine on the basis of delivering 100 million silver equivalent ounces in a 43-101 with feasibility at an average grade of about 700 grams.
Yeah, and I wanted to, if you don't mind me interjecting here.
Yes, please.
2018, I went down to Las Chispas and toured that
mine. Oh, very good.
With Chris and team, and I will attest, I started writing about it on Seeking Alpha in 2018 when it wasn't getting a lot of coverage, and I wrote an article and said Silvercrest is the real deal, because you could see, especially in that Babicanora vein, where they found the resource there,
100%.
And I knew that it was going to blow up. I just had a feeling, and we had geologists down there, metallurgists from a lot of the buy-side analyst teams, and they were very positive about it. So that's why I love this district. I've been to this district. I've looked at other mines, great mines coming out of there. Silvercrest is a huge story. And this is if you're investing in Mexico and you're investing in silver, this is a great place to be.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm referring to, look, Eric Fear is a peer of ours and us of his. He's been in Mexico the same amount of time as our team. We know him well. An incredible job he's done there. But, you know, and Eric wouldn't mind me saying this, like I said, and very respectfully, we're garbage men. He is the same here. This was a big Swiss mine at the same vintage as the Tiger, a smaller mine, a much smaller land package, about 3,000 hectares, I think. But he just drilled off what the old timers left him, and what a success. Robert, you have to understand, people go, why were these here? It's too good to be true. But why they're here was real simple. Everything, all those foreign-owned mines in Mexico in 1930 closed, and they sat there. Eric set cheese pot, and ours at the Tiger for 80 or 90 years. Silver in the Great Depression went from $1.33 to 10 cents, and everybody went home. And we're so lucky to have been able to buy this district by acquiring the public company. Like Eric took that SpinCo out after he sold his Santa Elena to First Majestic in 16. So look, those are the similarities. The only difference is, we're just a couple of years behind Eric. We're just getting going, but so far so good. A couple $100 million market cap, 25 million bucks in the bank, and we're getting after it. And I'll show you what we're getting after right now. Is it okay, Robert? I don't want to spend too much time on the slides, but I really want to show, I think we should see the underground model of the old mine so they understand what we're after.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to show them the plan map and sort of the results we've had. That there's a reason we're $200 million market cap from 20 in 7 or 8 months. It's not promotion, it's drill bit delivery, and just like Silvercrest did. So let's go look at, I think this is my favorite slide of all the slides on the in this deck. When we got there first in 17, and got this under our control. Bottom of the market was tough, but we reached about $20 million, Robert, on track record, because no one was really following silver back then. And we put it all on the ground, and then we went after information. There's the old Tiger mine, 1908 to 1930. 100 million silver equivalent ounces. The old timers, the Americans, went down underground after over 2 kilos. You can see what they did. They chased that clavos. They stopped at 450 meters. They went home. 2 other veins they mined there, which were very important. I'm going to go plan view on this so you can see it, were the ones we're really nailing now. And you'll see the black is what they took out of it. It almost disappears. They went after a ½ meter of that super high grade stuff. And you can see that's what they took out. On the Tiger vein, very important, because we're going to talk about this in a minute, they went to 450 meters. They went home. On the sites Kelly, they went for kilometers, super high grade. When they went home there, they were only at 150 meters. On the western vein, the Suey, they only drifted for 300 to 150 meters. This is the one we're going to have. This is where we've been killing it here in the drill bit in the last 2 or 3 months. That vein never touched, continues for 1.5 kilometers and continues for 2.5 kilometers to the north. So you saw what at Cheesepaw, the vein you talked about, delivered. Boy, did they ever leave us a lot there. And all around the mine. 2 things that make us a little different that you need to understand. We're seeing much wider zones around those veins at depth, 10, 20, 30 meters of some 600, 700, 800 grams, plus a super high grade center, multi-kilo. But what we knew, and a little different from Cheesepaw, is there's an open pit around all of these at surface. When we first got there, we'll just show you what we did. We banged about 12,000 meters in this thing. That's the old mine, and we wanted to test a theory. We bought 10,000 meters from that public company I bought. We drilled 12. What you're looking at there is a 1 million ounce 43101 resource, almost a gram from surface. Around the Tiger vein, Tiger vein gone. We wanted to test all these veins going north and south. You'll see it in a minute. Okay, basically are in that formation from surface. All the drilling in the top 100 meters. So the difference in mining that you're going to see here when we do this, that's the top 100 meters, about 600,000 ounces of that 43101 resource is about 2 grams. Only gold disseminates outside the silver veins. I'll show you a cross section because we're going to do classic Mexican mining. We're going to take the pit out first, and then you're going to go for up 800-900 meters and chase those veins to great depth like the old timers did. You can see in the mine. Enough about that. Let's go look at what we're focused on right now, the next 5 minutes or so, if that's okay, Robert. And then we'll come back and have a general conversation. I think your folks have to understand really what we've got here. This is what we're going to spend the next 5 or 10 minutes on. That's the brownfields, that middle 5 kilometers. But I want you to understand what we bought and keep that in your viewer's mind's eye. And I'm going to show you the total land package. Before I do that, to orient you, the black is the only place the old timers mined in that 450 meters. I showed you the model. You're looking plan view. There's the Tiger they went to 450 on. There's the sites they went to 150, and they only drifted on the Suey about 350 meters along strike to 150. Nothing else was touched. All of this to the north we're going to talk about, same veins. Same veins going north in the same structure. Never touched. We're drilling incredible stuff up there. But I want to show you how we're just scratching the surface because I'm going to show you quickly our land package that I bought when I bought the public company. That is 35 kilometers, 30,000 hectares. We have been across the middle now. Let me just go full screen on this. I think it'll be easier. We've been across the full 25 kilometers in the center. I'm going to put in perspective the only place we've done our work so far. Look, there's the old mine. There's the 2 or 3 kilometers north we've drilled. That's the only drill bits that have ever gone through this project. The old timers didn't drill. They just followed your countertop to 500 meters, the quartz vein. We've gone 12 meters to the south, all the same structure, 3 large mines here. We've been in all of them, full of gold and silver. Never had a drill bit. 10 kilometers north, all of these little mines, Polares, we've been in it on our package. Big mine, high grade gold and silver. Never had a drill bit. When we got on the other side of the upper volcanics, we had a theory that this beautiful yellow rock, that's the layer that does that gold dissemination, might come out on the other side. It did. The vein sets repeated itself. We've named it Santa Maria, kilometers long. We added 6,000 hectares. That's a district. My technical team tells me that I'll be dead and they'll still be drilling off ounces at the Tiger. And that's what these big systems are when you find a district. Pinos Altos, Aro Campo, they're all the same. Tayatito. We really think that's what we're on to. And we can say that because we've been there for 25 years building mines. That's not promotional. Let's go back and end this with sort of what we delivered and what we're seeing ahead of us as far as, you know, the next step. How do I get this from what I told everybody, this 30 to 60 to raise that 25 million from institutions, and now how do I get it to $1.20? I think we're going to have enough here with the 25 million we got in the bank to spend right here in these 5 kilometers to do that. That's the goal. We got on the mountain and we put 3 drill rigs on it last fall. September, October, November, we phased them in. What we hunt in Mexico, so you understand, are clavos. There was the first one, the old mine. It's an ore chute. Goes to great depth. That's what the old timers chased to 450. We saw the next one up here evolving because all those same veins had come together, geometry more than geology, and we drilled our first holes up here. I'm going to show you some of those results first quickly. Near end of November to December, we discovered the Benjamin vein, about 800 meters of strike length. I'll show you some of those drill holes, incredible, the first 3 or 4 holes in it. And then a hole we drilled end of December, which we've now followed up on that vein the old timers barely mined for 1 kilometer of step out, but about 10 holes. Everyone nailed it in the last 2 months. And that's what's getting everybody so excited now about this. So let's go look at, and I think the way to do that is cross sections. Remember, Robert, this is 2 kilometers north of where all the mining stopped. None of this ever touched. We walk on it, it's all at surface. And remember this too. See all the yellow rock? That's that El Tigre structure. Wherever those veins pass through that, that's that great plumbing at surface to the 100 meters, where outside these veins, you get that gram and a half gold dissemination. We're seeing that consistently across the project. First here results, then this, and then the game changer hole we drilled here. Look, this was boring exploration all fall. All the drilling in the top 100 meters. This is not complicated. This is Mexico geology. We went up here and we said, let's delineate the pit and test the high-grade veins that up here have never been mined. It's real simple. All the drilling. First hole we put in it was 1 meter, 10 kilos, 7.3 of real silver. We figured we were on the right track. Here's a representative hole, 30 meters from surface. We walk on all the mineralization. The veins we walk on, they all daylight. And here you start to see exactly what we hoped. In that hole, 30 meters from surface, we get almost 1 meter, 3.7 kilos silver, 26 grams per ton, 26 meters of 2 grams per ton gold, gold disseminating outside. Real simple exploration. You can go look at those results all in the top 100 meters. Drill off the pit first. It's really simple. Step out 25 meters and do it again. Remember the old timers, and then it just tightens up. Then you go underground for upwards of 800-900 meters. That's just what all our mines have been really in Mexico. And if you look at Pinos, they're all the same. So that's really what we were doing here. Let's go back to the map. I show you the next result. Very important. There we've got about 1 kilometer of that in front of us. We'll just keep stepping out. Beautiful stuff. 3 holes in the Benjamin vein. New discovery, press release 1st of February. Let's show you what we started drilling here. Wait till you see the wide zones we start to get into. These are the first deep holes ever drilled under the mine, around or under this. Now, this is about 1.5 kilometers north of the mine. No one ever been mined here. What happened here is that Tiger, that first 150 meters where the gold disseminates out, it's not here. It's eroded away. So we got down in this flat formation. Results were, first hole through it was 3 meters, 1.3 kilos, 75 meters from surface. We step out again. Look at the width of the zones around it. I mean, everybody's saying, we know we've got tens of kilometers of 1 meter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kilos. But look at this width, 8 meters of 407, 75 from surface, 12 meters of 266. And look at the heart of it, just super high grade, 2 meters of 1.4. Step out another 25. These are the only 3 holes. You'll see more results coming as we continue to drill here. Look at this, 14 meters of half kilo. That's valuable ore, Robert. And 5.6 meters of a kilo. The separator from us, and you understand cheese paw, and that's wonderful. We've got lots that narrow vein. What's amazing us is the wide zones of open pit from surface now. And as we get a little deeper, we're seeing not just the quartz vein, which the old timers, that's all they went after. They didn't drill any of this. They left everything else. Incredible. Now, Last thing I'll show you, and then I'm going to be quiet, and we're going to talk about this a little bit. But you have to, this is something that your viewers have to understand, because this really shocked even the team on the mountain. Been doing this for 25 years. Last hole of the December program was hole 202. The guys said, look, we're killing it up here. New discovery here. They knew they had it, even though in the results they could see the chalcopyrite, sphalerite, the black sulfides in the ore. Let's go up over the old mine. Remember, we got all the mining records. I don't think I told you that. We went to the University of Wyoming, 2017. Every record for that old mine, every stope record, Anaconda collection there. Every 5 feet, we had the mine record of what they mined. In the bottom level of the Tiger at 450, the bottom level of the Sui we're talking about now at 150, and the Sites Kelly, this one here at 150. Everything they stopped mining, it was 2 kilos. They went home, 1930. Incredible. So the guy said, look, this was the hottest spot we ever saw. Let's go get a drill down dip underneath where the mining stopped and see. We expect 1 meter, 2 meters of a couple of kilos. We missed, but boy, did we ever get our eyes opened. And we knew we would when we drilled around this hot spot. But let me show you that result, which is, to put it in perspective now so people can start adding up what we're seeing in this one vein. The Sui vein, the Benjamin is just the northern extension of the Sui. That Sui vein runs for 3 kilometers strike there. We just showed you the new discovery here. We stepped out 1.25 kilometers, none of it ever touched. And we drilled hole 202, and now we're 1 kilometer south. I'm going to show you those drill results after the first one, the next 8 or 9 holes in sequence, and what we hit. It was incredible. Here's the first one. We missed. We didn't get quite deep enough. There were actually, when we went back and looked, there were 7 levels. And to put in perspective, so we're down at the old mine now. Remember, the old timers never wanted the open pit. That's what we take in the Tiger. They took the vein right down 1/2 meter. That's all they took. They chased that countertop, quartz vein, to about 140, 150 here. We missed. We went through the mine workings. We were 1 level too high. We went back to the University of Wyoming, found out there were 8 levels, not 7 in the old mine. But boy, did we ever get a surprise when this ended up in the core box, and we saw that 1st of February. The whole team were on the mountain, the technical team, the next day. That's extremely valuable ore. 125 or 50 meters from surface, 12 meters of 700 grams, 22 meters. What we really knew was immediately said, wow, there's a parallel vein. Now, is it going to follow this thing? Well, did it ever? I'm going to show you in sequence 25 meter step outs, then at 150, then at 250, all in sequence, then 1.25 kilometers going south following the Sui vein. That's what's driving the real excitement now. There's 25 meters south. You can see we nail it again. You can go and verify on our website any of your guests and just get a deep dive. All these slides are on there in the slide presentation. But look at that, 9 meters of 700, 2.9 of a kilo. That's 25 meters. There's 50 meters south. Now we went down dip enough. We finally hit what we were looking for before. The Sui vein, 1.3, because it's not mined. You're just down dip underneath the mining of 1.3 kilos. Look at this width starting around those veins. That's incredible stuff. That makes the mining of this so much easier. And we went out and we nailed a little bit in the Sui, in that new structure. And you can see we've got it on the map here. There's 75 meters. We're in that parallel structure again. We're just following it south. There's 100 meters. We're down below the mine workings. So we get the Sui intact. The old timers went after the 450 in the old mine. This goes for a kilometer, we think. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at this wide zone in that. And we got that parallel structure. This one is 150 meters south of that discovery hole. We lost the hole here, so we didn't actually pick up the next structure, but we got the Sui vein. This next hole was incredible, 250 meters, and we picked up a parallel structure in the hanging wall, Robert. Look at those 2 holes. I mean, the first one, 11 meters of 325, 469. Look at the guts of it. 1/2 meter or 5 kilos. So now what we're chasing and what we're seeing is we're seeing parallel vein systems on each side of the main veins as we drill deeper. We then went one more. We said, let's go another 775 meter step out with the next hole. No mining down here. Same structure, same layer cake. That's the whole 10, 12 kilometers is like this. And we picked up the Sui again and a great result. So to go back to the map and what we see now, remember, no drilling here when the old timers mined it. They just chased the quartz vein. Anything on either side. Their cutoff for the mine was 1.2 kilos, Robert. Can you imagine? That was the cutoff. So anything 600, 700 grams, they wouldn't even care about it. So what we're starting to see here form, put it on perspective, on this is just the Suey, and that's what we're really after right now, that 3 kilometers. We got the first holes in the Benjamin, more to come. We're following that south. We took the drill about here. We're out about 1.25 kilometers in it. You saw those results. We're seeing a parallel vein in the hanging wall and footwall following it. We saw the same thing, only in the top 100 meters around the Tiger vein. None of this has ever been touched. So these are all new veins in time. We're calling them footwall hanging. Well, they'll get names. We'll put that on it. So we're just going to keep going south here. We've got drill holes, and we're going to put about 50-meter spaces right to the end of the 3 kilometers. This is an interesting hole. When the boys, and you can see, this is so easy to see. You can see what we did back here in 17, 18 after we got, that's all our drill holes you see here. That's where we drilled off that 1,000,000 ounces in the top 100 meters around that Tiger vein that had been mined out to test the open pit theory. But at the end of it, the boys went out because none of the Tiger was mined for the next 500 meters. This just keeps going. We just have this on the map. They stepped out 500 meters, which is another 1.5 kilometers from our last step out hole I showed you. And just one hole, it was one of these. They nailed 1.5 meters at 7:15. So we're going to go after this hard. This will, and we'll talk about what the plan is and a resource estimate when I stop here. But this is very interesting. You're going to start to see the first holes coming out of here very soon. We went down dip here, and you saw what we hit. This was probably the richest vein they mined for a kilometer on the east side of the mine. This keeps going under the upper volcanics. We're going to go down dip at about 150 meters the same way. Pretty excited there. We expect, well, we're going to hit the vein. It was when they stopped at 150, it was all 2 kilos. We have the records, but we're hoping and don't see why we're not going to start to see these other parallel structures that nobody ever touched. So that's the story right now. 3 drill rigs, going to 4 on the way and a 5th. And you're really going to see us. You want the plan? We're going to attack this thing. And my goal would be, can't guarantee it, get this thing 50 meters spaced here, 25 million bucks in the bank. We win one way in Mexico, Robert. You don't follow drill holes. You drill off ounces, and you move it to economics. I think our group in the last 5 or 6 years has delivered 7 43-101s with PEAs, pre-feasibilities, and feasibility studies. That's how you go forward. Because everything we're doing here is we're going to build a mine. And that's ounces, economics. So hopefully this would be my goal. And I'm not, I got to be careful what I say here, but we'll be back to BMO. That's kind of a big show for this industry in February next year. I'd love to go back there with the updated 43-101 to add to the 1,000,000 ounces I already have in the books in that open pit around the Tiger vein. It'll be high-grade silver ounces. And I want to have the first economic report, the PEA, to go with it. So that's the plan. It's head down now and drill. And you're going to see, the first holes under the sites will be part of that. And when we get that next drill, that 4th and 5th, back to tending to our knitting here, that new clavos that's evolved. We got a kilometer ahead of us here from surface to delineate that pit. So a lot to do. Luckily, we've got a lot of money in the bank. The last thing I want to say to your shareholders, and you know what? We don't have to say it here. I'm just going to get out of this so I can get back on the screen. Last thing I'm going to say is we're with our shareholders. That's how we do it. My management team owns 16.1% of the company. I own probably 13 million shares with a few stock options and warrants. But guess what? We bought them all. I've got 2.1 million of my own dollars in here. I get out one of 2 ways, and it's the same path. You drill off ounces and you deliver economic reports and we build a mine, or like when we sold Santa Gratuitous to an Eco Eagle a couple of years ago, somebody just has to have it, but they want the same thing. They want drilled off ounces and de-risk feasibility and pre-feasibility results. They don't buy drill holes. And we've been doing this for a long time. We understand what the big companies want. So that's the story. Very excited. I know you'll have some questions, but I just wanted to present it. The first time I think everybody has to understand really, we think we bought the next big district, silver district in Mexico. That's where I think we're taking this.
Yeah, and we can tell from your map, there's a lot you have yet to drill off, and there's also a lot you have left to explore. So this could have a fairly long mine life. I don't think even what you've defined right now is even close to what you're going to have at the end of the day.
Well, when you think about that middle 5 kilometers, and then you think about like we're just getting going on that. We got enough work to do there for the next 5 years. But when you look at that 25 kilometers and really appreciate, look at this. That's the old mine. That's all the work. Like honestly, I know people think I'm joking. My technical team have told me that. They go, No. And the Mexican tech team, no, we're not kidding, Glenn. It wasn't a joke when we told you, they'll be drilling and announcing, you'll be dead. And they meant it. That's the lifestyle. Like, what's Pinos Altos, 40, 50 years? Our Ocampo from the group, that's 30 years now and still going strong. So, 10 million ounces behind it. So that's what these are. When you find one, they're big.
Yeah. So wrapping this up, I think we're in the silver super cycle. The Silver Institute came out in November of last year and said they expected us to have demand for over 1 billion ounces of silver for the first time. A lot of that's industrial demand. That was before silver squeeze and the investment demand movement that we've seen in 2021. So I'm expecting the number for the next few years in silver demand to be quite robust. Oh, yeah. So not only is it the project economics that you guys have in the district, the experienced team that's doing it, underlying all of that is we're in a rising environment for silver for both industrial and investment demand. And I see that as going several years. So as you guys, it's like perfect timing. As you guys are delineating your resource, that resource value goes up, and that just adds additional value to your project economics at the same time.
100%. Can I ask you, Robert, what you see? I'm not a guy who guesses at the price, because you know what? At $27 silver today, that's fantastic price for miners. Oh, yeah. For me, we're like, wow, that's great. To $1,800, $2,000 gold, that's fantastic. We mine gold. I think the first mine that the group built, I think it was $250. Imagine. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we were producing silver and making money at $12. So 27 is great. But where do you think, and you do this, I never guess, where do you think silver could go? Where do you think gold could go?
Oh, I think
we're not holding you to it. You're much more knowledgeable about this than even me.
Yeah, I do a lot of fundamental and technical analysis, and I think silver's next stop is 30. And then once it goes through 30, from a technical analysis, there's no stopping till you get closer to the high 30s. But a lot of it, like I'll take a page from David Morgan, who's the silver guru. It's that incremental investment demand that drives silver, typically in an era in which we also need it industrially. So I think the demand profile is so strong for silver the next 5 to 10 years, and we're already at the silver cliff. For silver, we already don't have enough ounces to meet future demand. For gold, if you look at Crescat Capital, they did a chart, which we just had on the program the other day, where there's a gold cliff starting in 2028 of proven and probable ounces, and then it literally falls off that cliff in 2030. And so gold, silver's already at that cliff where we need silver right now. Gold's going to be there in a few years. So from the supply and demand factors, just the fundamentals, I see much higher prices for both gold and silver. And there are regulatory reasons why gold's going to go up with Basel III and these central banks recapitalizing the banking structure with gold in that regulation scheme that starts in earnest in June of this year, June 28th. So I think the fundamentals for gold in the central banking system are much stronger. So for all of these reasons, I think gold and silver fundamentals are stronger. And from a technical perspective, they look like they're both about to break out. In fact, gold and silver have already broken out, but I think that they have a long way to go in that next leg.
Wonderful.
And so to me, getting into gold and silver space is great for investors right now. Not a lot of people in the US do it. There's a lot of room for people to get involved here. And I think with the miners, you get that leverage to the price, which could, the returns on this could be amazing when you pick the right companies.
Absolutely. And, I recognize, like, we're in Canada, we've a small little city on the East Coast, amazing. We've been mining in Mexico out of this city of 250,000 for 25 years and building some big mines. But, I appreciate the size of your market, and really am trying to get some exposure for the tiger there. The securities lawyer in me really want to make it as easy as possible. So, I've upgraded our listing to an OTCQB listing, which makes it, for where we are in our development, as easy as we can for our American friends to trade the stock and call their broker and get involved. And so I know I just want to point that out, that we do trade down there also.
Yeah, and for our listeners, we do have a relationship with the OTC. I'm actually going to be interviewing Chris King here on the channel next week. So we have strong relationship with OTC. OTC is a good way to get, for U.S. investors, like you said, into a lot of the Canadian junior miners. Another route that people can go, if you get a Schwab account, Charles Schwab, they allow investment to the Canadian exchanges at no additional cost. So if you want to get into those tickers, you can do it through some American brokers. You have to look around. So they're easy paths to get there. Last question I'm gonna ask you, and I have to bolt here in a minute for a plane flight.
Absolutely. Yes, Robert. You're traveling.
So last question, I'm gonna let you write your own headline. What do you think is the outlook for gold and silver over the next year, and how do you think that's going to impact your company? And what do you want to leave the viewers with as the last thought there?
Look, we've been doing this for 25 years, ups and downs. We never stop being silver miners in Mexico. We build mines. The next 5 or 10 years, we're absolutely giddy because the world has changed. Precious, industrial, I keep saying it. It's an infra metal. It's 5G, it's batteries in cars, it's solar, and that's where the world's going. We're not going to stop that. I am shocked at how fast that's happening. And at some point, they've all got to come and they've all got to get their silver. And there's not much silver. There's not enough. And there's not enough true silver mines. There's byproduct from copper. We're a true silver mine. And oh boy, here's 2 things I'll say. It's a good time to own a silver mine. And the ones that will really, really be valuable are the ones that could put the next 100 million silver equivalent ounces on the books in a 43-101 with economics at good grade. I think that's where we're heading. And if it is, we will have exponential growth and value creation in our company, Silver Tiger, through this asset.
Yeah, we're going to be watching. We're stay tuned to that. I know you got a lot of news coming up with your drill results, and you're going to update your feasibility studies, as you get that built out. So we look forward to that. Thank you so much, Glenn, for dropping by the program. We appreciate you.
I just am very pleased to be invited, and thank you very much, Robert, and to your viewers for taking the time to watch this.
Absolutely. Like I said, we'll follow you. We'll stop back by, have you on the program again, and get an update when the time's right.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.